Social Links. My name is Monica Roach. I teach World History 2 and Sociology here. Wanted to just share with you a little bit about why I chose to flip my World History 2 class this year, as well as what the structure of my class looks like, how I run things, as well as what do I do in class now. So about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, I had started kind of hearing this thing about the flipped learning, the flipped classroom. I'd been hearing some buzz about it. So I did a little bit of research on it. Last year, I had the opportunity to go to the ASCD conference in Atlanta, and I actually met one of the gentlemen who is one of the pioneers of flipped learning, John Bergman. He's a great guy. But I had read his book that he co-authored with one of his colleagues, Aaron Sams. It was called Flip Your Classroom. This was a great tool for just basically laying out how a flipped classroom works and how it's beneficial for our students and for us as teachers as well. Some of the reasons why I decided that I wanted to flip, number one, it brings transparency to my classroom. So I've had parents tell me, oh, I love watching your videos, which to me is kind of weird. I'm like, oh, you're watching videos, great. But it lets the parents know what I'm talking about in class, what their students are learning about, and hopefully it opens up some conversations at home as well. It helps our busy students, our ones who are just either they're in the academy or they're in several sports teams or they have jobs or they just have busy lives outside of school. It helps them because it makes learning available to them whenever they are able to learn. Another reason why it gives me an opportunity to interact with my students more, which let's face it, that's why I'm in this profession, is for the kids. I'm not in it for me, but I'm in it for my kids, for my students. I've noticed that there are more opportunities for student interactions. So my classes have gotten to know each other better than in years past when I've just straight lectured and then we've started doing activities at the end of class, which they would have to finish for homework. It's been fantastic for when we have inclement weather days, so either a snow day or a hurricane day, as long as we have power, my kids know that I am expecting them to stay on track with their videos. So those are just a few of the reasons why I chose to flip. So let me talk you through the structure of my class. So each class, my students receive at the very beginning, whoops, not that one. They receive a unit guide. So they see exactly what video it is that they need to watch. I guess before I start telling you about what videos, I should explain to you that I do not lecture in class anymore. I strictly lecture and then I record my lectures and then I post them on YouTube. I have a channel that I have set up that's available to my students. So so they log on to YouTube and then they watch the video and they take their notes. So they know exactly what day what video they need to be watching on what day. They know what to expect when they come to class after watching that video. And then if they have any homework here, I'll post it there as well. So that has just helped me be a little bit more organized as far as knowing, okay, what am I going to do in class tomorrow? We just watched this video. What's coming up next? So like I mentioned, I do post my videos on YouTube. Next year, though, I'm going to be using something called Play Pause It because really I can try to get the accountability of the kids watching the videos by giving them video checks when they come into class. But let's face it, that's not guaranteeing that they're all watching the lecture and taking the notes. They could very easily just be copying them from a classmate. So what Play Pause It does is they actually have to log in to Play Pause It. It's I think they can log in through their Google account. I have to research it a little bit more, but they log in, they watch the video. I can watch how much time they spent watching the video. I can see if they paused it. I can see if they fast forwarded through it. I can even assign little quick quizzes to go through to be embedded in my videos as they watch through Play Pause It. So that's something that I'm going to be looking into next year. So if you're interested, talk to me next year and I'll let you know how that's going. But when the students are watching their videos, I require them to take notes. Now I use Cornell notes. These are what my notes look like. I don't have a digital copy for students to work on. I print them and I give them to the students as a packet for the whole unit, so they have all of the notes that are needed. So when they're at home and they're watching the videos, they're filling out their notes. if they have any questions that pop into their head, they write them here in this column. And hopefully they'll ask me those questions so that, we can, when I go around to small groups, I always have a chance for them to ask any questions to clarify anything from the previous night's video. So at home, they watch the video, they take the notes. When they come into class, I give them the first probably 15 to 20 minutes to write their summaries. So this is a really big part of Cornell note taking, is writing the summary. So it's interacting with the material a couple of times, and that really helps solidify the material in the students' brains. So when they come to class, for each page of notes that they take, they have a summary to write. I only require it to be 3 to 5 sentences long, but it has to summarize all of the information on the page. So after they've done that, after they've written their summaries, they will come bring that to me. I grade their summaries. I don't grade their note taking, but I grade their summaries and I bundle those together. So let's say, like you see here, our World War I unit only has 3 days of notes. So each day of notes, those summaries are worth 5 points each. I will bundle them together, and that will be 15 points for the C notes. I call them C notes. So for their C notes, they have 15 points available. That way, if they completely forget to take one of the day's summaries, if they don't write their summaries, they forget to do it, or they were absent or whatever, they don't catch up on it once if they were absent, it doesn't completely kill their grade. So once they've completed their summaries and I've checked them, I give them a video check. And so these video checks are anywhere from 5 to 10 questions long. And it just works this way for me. It's a little bit of accountability to make sure that they're doing what they need to do. But I'm not naive enough to think that, oh, everybody's watching the videos and they're all doing what they're supposed to do. But this is what I have found has worked for me. And like I was saying earlier, I think next year I'll be able to work these Play Pause It videos, these video checks into the Play Pause It videos. So what is it that I do in class now that I'm not lecturing in class anymore? This has given me the opportunity to work on vocabulary a little bit more intensely with my students. I've been able to do a word wall this year, and we've done several activities with that. I've noticed that students' vocab has really increased. Their understanding and remembering key terms has really gone up this year. We're able to work on maps more closely. I have found in the past that if I just hand a kid a book and say, okay, here are your directions, this is what you need to look up, they really struggle, some of them, from transferring from the book to the image on the page. So I am able to now do this in class. I have a starboard at my desk that I can sit here and I can draw on while the kids are sitting at their desk, and they see the exact same thing on the Promethean board. We're able to do maps together, and I have noticed that their retention of geography has increased as well. Other than that, we are able to do more hands-on activities. I've done an interactive notebook this year as well. And I'm really pleased with the progress that I have seen so far. When I compare my test scores, like those midterm assessment test scores that downtown makes us do, I've noticed that my numbers have increased. So I'm excited to see how my kids do on the SOL. I'm expecting them to do very well. So we'll see. I hope that this has given you some sort of insight into what a flipped classroom looks like. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me. I'm always happy to chat about it. I'm also happy to loan out my book, Flip Your Classroom. These guys also wrote another book. Well, actually, they wrote a couple specific to content areas. So they have another one called Flip Your Social Studies Classroom. So that's one that I read where I got some ideas. Okay, what do I do with my kids now that I'm not lecturing and I'm going to see them for 90 minutes? So that was another helpful one. I know that they have one for all of the core subject areas as well. But anyway, like I was saying, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to shoot me an email or catch me in the hall or whatever. I'm happy to chat about it with you. Thanks.